Hey, 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 beautiful souls. Welcome to Thought Provoking Tuesday. My name's lisalyle. This is my space here on YouTube. A very warm welcome back to all of you who have been hanging out with me for a while. And a very warm welcome to those of you who are new. So, who is all I have to say. It's 11:44 on May the 20th. We are moving into Gemini season. And let's just get the Palo Santo going and we're going to tune into what's going on. And there's a lot of active. Just let's get this going. I've had a little bit of an unsettled morning and I'll explain why. At this time, I'd like to ask that I'm a clear and pure channel to bring through messages from Source Divine, loving and kind, with the intention of supporting our greatest and highest manifestation in this lifetime via the pathway of our very own calm central nervous system. This is heaven on earth. I feel so close, but I don't want to get too far back. So yeah, we're going to just stay close today. Let's see if I can push this back a little bit. Anyways, so we've got the sun moving into Gemini. That's either happening today or tomorrow. Let me just see. I think it's today. Sun in Gemini. Let's see. Sorry, I just should have been more prepared, but I had a little bit of excitement this morning. Why can't we get anything current? Sun in Gemini. Yeah, so tomorrow. Okay, so the sun moves into Gemini tomorrow, into this polarized experience. I think what we're going to see and witness a lot during Gemini season is the polarity of the human experience. Good morning, sister. Welcome, Kiva. So let me tell you all a little story. I took the big dog over to the dog park this morning. I literally got out of bed. It was just about 9. Got out and I'm like, I'm going to take him first thing. We'll go over there. He's got some friends. And so we went. And as we were approaching, I saw a dog that we encountered there yesterday, who is also like Rex, an unneutered male. And the other dog is, in his own human's words, an asshole, right? Not very friendly. And I understand you have to be mindful when there's 2 unneutered males in the house. So I saw them there yesterday when they were there. The guy literally like tackled his dog because he was like really aggressive right off the hop, and they hadn't even got close to each other. And the guy's like, oh, watch your dog. My dog's an asshole. And I said, well, mine's not. And next thing you know, his dog's barking like crazy. This is yesterday. And the guy tackles his dog. It was like a figure 4 from the WWF wrestling days. It was like a figure 4 on his dog. And then he starts like punching the dog in the chest. And I'm like, you know what? I can't do this. I'm leaving. So Rex and I left. So this morning, as we were heading over there, I saw that this guy and his dogs were there. And so I tried to direct Rex another way. What I also noticed is the man had his dog on a leash. When he saw Rex, he put his dog on a leash. So I'm like, okay, we'll give it a try. And we go in. And everything's fine for, a good half an hour. Rex is playing, running, and smiling. And then all of a sudden, he moves towards the dog that's on the leash. And before I knew what happened, they were like, it was a fight. and the other dog had Rex in his face and his mouth, and I'm like trying to pull my dog and he's trying to pull his dog, and I stuck my finger in the other dog's mouth to try to get his teeth off of Rex. I'm on my back. It was just chaotic. And I was like, oh my God, a typical woman, right? I'm on the ground. I'm literally on my back and pulling Rex by the harness. And I'm like, oh my God, stop, okay, And eventually, it got cleaned up and everything was cool. But what it really reflected to me is sometimes there will be stuff, and it feels like Gemini season, as we're coming into Gemini season, it feels like this season where one moment can be running and smiling and laughing and having a good time, and the next minute we're trying to extricate ourselves from a difficult situation. So bear with me. I trust that it's all going to come together. Yes, it is upsetting. And I have to say, like, now we're about an hour and a half beyond the incident. And now I'm starting to feel shaky. I guess in the moment it's the adrenaline, right? You're in the heat of the moment, you're trying to remove separate these two dogs. They're saying bottom card, separate these two dogs. And then when everything settles down, it really hits you, what the heck just happened. And it was not fun. It was not a great way to start the day, I have to say. Hadn't even had a coffee or anything, really, a sip of water. So this card fell on the ground, and I feel like it's the first card that wants to be shown. Well, sorry for my finger. It looks just gross, eh? So this fell on the ground, and it's a number 38, and it's the 11 energy. It's also this energy, it's the maiden energy, innocence. And yes, things can change in a blink of an eye, and yet um, I guess what we're going to witness during Gemini season is how much we have changed. We're going to see a lot of external play, and ultimately, it's up to us to hold our own space. You see, she is tethered to the cosmos. She's like grounded, centered in it all, knowing that she is the conscious seed of change that is showing up for herself in the moment, in the blink of an eye, when things are changing, with the awareness and recognition that she, in fact, or he, in fact, is the change. The message on this card is, I acknowledge my inner child and open my heart to the joy she brings. How beautiful is that? And yeah, it's funny, all these mushrooms, she's like hopping, crossing on the mushrooms here, and then we see the mushrooms growing on the tree. Nature is our medicine. Sunlight is our medicine. Um, Rest is also our medicine. I find peace in nature and rest my body and mind in order to connect to spirit. I'm not sure if any of you are like me. When things are feeling really unsettled, my go-to is I feel this call to go and find a spot on Mother Earth and lay down, just to find a spot and lay down, starfished on the grass, or the moss or whatever, and just allow myself to decompress. And that feels like a big call of this time as we shift from Taurus, which has been a very active season. It's always active, isn't it? Like, we're always contending with this continual, that we're the cycle, the celestial cycles, the lunar cycles, the solar cycles, planetary planets lining up, squaring off. We're always in the thick of it. And at the end of the day, what doesn't change is that we're always in the thick of it. So how do we show up for ourselves in the thick of it? That's the real test, if you will, of our um, or it's the real reflection of our growth, if you will. Like whatever we're seeing externally, what are we reflecting and what is being reflected towards us? Is the stream good today? I just want to double check before I keep going on, because Saturday night stream, and you're all so polite, no one told me until 36 minutes in that there was issues with the stream. So if oh, excellent. So if there's ever issues, don't hesitate to let me know right off the hop, because I can probably resolve it. And I would rather that it's clear, a clear instead of a pixelated version of the connection. Root chakra. So as we transition into Gemini season, approaching the solstice, the summer season here in the northern hemisphere and winter in the south, as we here in the northern hemisphere, we're waiting for some warm weather. We're starting to see the sun a little bit more when they're not blocking it out from us, and we're starting to feel this energy of the call to get out into nature. And 1111, and this is why, because as the seed of change, we've got the 5 here, the number of change, and the root chakra, where we are, the root and the sacral chakra is where the bulk of our healing work originates and is done, in those lower chakras, everything below the heart. And the root is our stability, our feelings, and our knowing that we deserve to be here now. I have everything I need to survive and thrive and grow on the physical plane. Of course, we have if you're here watching this, you are a survivor. You at first you may have been afraid and petrified, thinking you could never get through it, yet you have survived. And now it's the time to shift into thrive, right? We can do it. We have survived. You're here. You're watching this. If you resonate with this, hit the thumbs up. Please do consider subscribing to the channel. We are on the rise here together. And, it's about the unified rise. We do it from the inside of our experience, and then those who are magnetized into our experience are also working the same energies. And everything's energy. We're all playing in this energy, and we can play in the energy to our betterment, or we can play in the energy to continue to repeat patterns. Similar to the story of that little fledgling vulture that I witnessed on Saturdays. That was in the Saturday Night Live. And this little guy's flapping, 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 not really getting any height, not letting go into the thermal to get that rise. And eventually he did. And so it feels like when we give up the struggle, when we give up the strife, when we give up the fight, then we rise from a really grounded and rooted space. I'm sorry if you're new here. My finger doesn't normally look like that. I should have put a Band-Aid on it. I don't even like looking at it. Every time I put it up, I'm like, oh, gosh. Yeah. And this is what we're grounding. We're grounding the love and support, the vibration, the frequency, that source, that God, that our angels, that our loved ones are sending us, as well as our galactic family, our multidimensional self that exists now, encouraging the human that exists now to go for it. Go for it. Bring your dreams to life. There's no better time than right now in this life. What are you waiting for? Do you want more strife, or are you ready for flight? Flights of delight, thriving, doing what you love. Stay, as well. Like, this is what I love. If I could do this full time and thrive and keep the roof over my head, this is what I would be doing full time. And I will be doing this full time and writing. And that's the real contribution to this lifetime. In the meantime and in between time, we need to show up for ourselves and support ourselves, which means I have a job. and I go out to that job, and that's all it is. It's a job. I'm not really invested in it. I show up, I put on a good face, I do my job well, and I'm respected in the workplace, and that's all that really matters to me, and it's entertaining. And then I come home, and this is where I do what I love. So it's about us understanding our responsibilities. And when I first started on this path, I was like, yes, this is all I'm going to do. And, uh, you know, unfortunately, it didn't go that way. And we do need to, life happens, life goes on, people die, and we have to re, um, it's almost like we have to realign with the divine's plan for us in our life. Ultimately, that's it, right? Like the divine has a plan for us. The human has a mind that's got its own ideas and plans, and it doesn't work well most of the time. And then the heart also has its plan for us. And so it's like, what are we going to show up for? Well, here it's saying we show up for ourselves, we show up for the inner child, we get to nature, we rest, we honor the rhythms and cycles in our life. And let's just start small, the daily life, because we're constantly receiving guidance, love, and support from source, from our angels via the numbers, songs, synchronicities, gut instincts, inner knowings. We're constantly in communion with the spiritual realms. And the reality is, although many have yet to recognize this, we are spiritual in essence. I'll go to my last breath believing and feeling deeply that we are each here at this time in this lifetime. Whenever you find this message, whenever you connect to it, we are each here to awaken to our own spiritual nature, who we truly are, without the middlemen, without the external, who we are. And one day I have complete faith that all children will be born and know right from the get go that they are worthy and deserving and beautiful and unique and special, just as they are. No surgery, no puberty blockers, no hormone pills, nothing will make you more perfect than you are in this moment in time for all of us. And let's get back to that. We've veered really, even since the creation of this space here, and the wisdom of the heart space on Facebook, which I no longer have control over. Someone stole that from me last year around this time. It's now like the Jennifer Lawrence fan page or whatever. But I trust if you go to that page and scroll back past a year, April of 2024, you'll see all my content there. And that was things are always happening. Things are always, life changes constantly. Do we have the opportunity to change constantly. And unfortunately, we're not for any of you, yet I trust that you see it around you. There are many who are choosing not to change. And these folks, sadly, are becoming more angry, more depressed, more, um, you know, um, insane. And it's because the disconnect from the heart space, the disconnect from nature. And I started to talk about those mushrooms. Sorry if you just saw my finger there. I had my finger in the mouth of some dogs this morning. Um, if we look at this picture filled with the mushrooms, I feel guided before all of this went on at the dog park, or maybe after, I'm not really sure. There was a gentleman there who was speaking to me about going down in the pathway, the trail system, and he found morel mushrooms. And what else did he say? He found pheasant tail, which I think are turkey tail. mushrooms and fiddleheads. The guy's been foraging, a little late for fiddleheads. If you don't know what fiddleheads are, you must try. They taste similar to like an asparagus and a Brussels sprout. So good. It's basically a fern, a baby fern. So it does speak that as we transition into Gemini season, there is this call. It's almost like the final call I'm hearing before the dog days of summer come. The final call for this clearing and to really get stable in the daily practices, in working with the plant-based medicine, in working with Mother Earth to support the healing, and getting grounding this high vibe. So we're not very good to the collective. If we can't anchor and ground our energy, then we're just like flip-flopping all over the place, like a kite trying to get flight, or just pretty inconsistent. So with these two cards coming up, the crown and the root chakra, it speaks of the need for grounding. And remember, Saturday we were given the suggestion and advice for a daily meditation, showing up for ourselves on a daily basis. They're asking me to add all these numbers, so let me do it. 5, 8, 16, 20, 22, 28, which is 10, Wheel of Fortune. This time is when we're going to begin to see, as a result of our work, the inner work, the stuff that we do in solitude, when nobody's watching, nobody's listening, we're not talking, we're behind the scenes doing, being human, right? And resting. And this one keeps coming up. Which speaks to the importance of rest and giving ourselves permission to rest. And if we've had a lot, think about this. If we had a lot going on in our early years, children have a lot going on today. We had a lot going on. There was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes when we were young. Now everything that was going on behind the scenes is kind of out in the open. Now, all this stuff going on creates feelings in the child who is experiencing whatever's going on. If it's joyful, that child's probably going to be happy and skipping and jumping and playing and just twirling and dancing through their days. Very little do we see that. Yet what it is saying is it's up to us to provide that to the child that lives within us. Yes, what happened, but remember, we've closed the door on that. The past is the past, and we are now moving. This shift into Gemini season is the forward move we've been waiting for. Actually, they're saying, Lisa, it's like the wheel is turning, and it's like you're at the top, and it's the pause before there's that momentum and it starts going forward again. So Gemini season is the top of the wheel or the roller coaster. They're showing me a wheel, like a big old wheel, the wooden wheels, like from Little House on the Prairie on the wagons. It's one of those. It's at the top, and we're doing what we need to do to support ourselves because we know all the good stuff is about to come through. And then Cancer season, we move forward, more confident in our skin, more comfortable in our home, more in our power, so that when we see all the wounded people in the world, when we feel it, when we connect with that energy, we are able in our power to be the transformer in that moment for other people. And that, we're not healing, we're supporting. We can support the energetic in a good way. We can be the elevation of the energetic. So let's see, we're going to pull a couple return to spirit cards. Stay tuned tomorrow, Whimsical Wednesday. Interactive messages will be going live on the channel at around 11 a.m. tomorrow. No, they're like, it's 21, Lisa. So 12:21. Those will be premiering here on this channel tomorrow. So take a look for those. There have been a few other messages recorded in recent days as well. I'm not sure when they will be premiered on the channel. I'll wait for the guidance. I got the guidance to record them, and we'll wait for the guidance. Look at this. I don't want to show you my gross finger. Take flight. It's really confirmation of and taking flight. It's like, sorry everyone, I got dog bite. Yeah, take flight via the heart space, grounded heart, and then the love and support that we are getting via the oversoul, our connection to the causal body of God. We are ready. Remember though, like, humans we have been conditioned by time and the clock, and there's 24 hours in a day, and there's this and there's that, and there's 7 days in a week, and it's all of this. So we get in our little minds, we get like, oh, we're going to take flight tomorrow. All of a sudden the floodgates of abundance are going to stream in tomorrow. I feel like a big part of the message these days is to appreciate the little things, the way that you are able to show up for self and service. So creating space in your life. This is one of the spaces in my life where I am so grateful, and I see how the consistency and the discipline and the desire to show up on a regular basis really supports the ability of this channel as well as myself to take flight and to magnetize to this space all that is needed for that brings way of a calm central nervous system. So a lot of what I do behind the scenes on my own, when no one's watching, no one's listening, is I show up for Lisa. I show up for Lisa in ways that, that I would like others to show up for Lisa, or the counterpart, right? And it's really important that we start treating ourselves as such as we would like to be treated. And far too many wounded humans compromise their own integrity, disregard their own heart and gut instincts time and time again, and wonder why they're living in this sewer is the word that's coming through, sewer, septic tank of pain. Well, it's a choice. It's creation, because ultimately we're always all eternally connected to source. I know I am a part of source, and my life is guided by divine wisdom. And what is wisdom, everyone? Some of you will know. My finger is bleeding again. Wisdom is nothing more than pain healed. Wisdom doesn't come from books. The people that wrote the books, they they had wisdom. They were receiving wisdom. They were channeling their own pain, their own healing journey. They were allowing themselves to be creative, and the wisdom flowed through. And it's the same for all of us. The more that we show up for ourselves in ways that support our healing, that support our emotional and physical well-being, mental well-being as well, the more that we do that, the more easily we become the conduit of wisdom that flows, of creation that flows. And as we heal, what we discover and what is uncovered in that process, way down there in the sacral and root chakra, is innate wisdom that we were born with. We came to this world with gifts. We came to this world to be of service, not just for personal gain, stepping on the people as we climb and claw our way to wherever we want to get. No, It's about joy. It's about living life like through the eyes of wonder, through the eyes of a child, feeling it was takes place in the space within us, the space between our breaths, the space between our thoughts. And the flight comes from our ability to release the density, to let that, as we were sharing on Saturday. If you haven't had a look at Saturdays, I know it may be intimidating by the length because it was a 2 hour live. Please do go back and maybe just have that going in the background. There was a lot of really beautiful messages that came through. And if you weren't there on Saturday, perhaps you'll consider joining us this Saturday live at 8:11 p.m. And, we got a couple hours to hang out and chat about what's going on. I really want to grow the Saturday evening. Saturday evenings are so much fun when we gather together and speak and share about the spiritual things. It's not for everyone because Saturday nights for a lot of people are going out and drinking, getting drunk, getting high, getting laid, all that stuff. And that, unfortunately, is perpetuating those wounds. Thank you, Kiva. I felt they were really amazing. So let's get us one more card and then we're going to wrap this up because I just heard hollow bones. So they want me to come back to that. And it's through birds have hollow bones. And we're here to hollow out our bones. This message came through maybe 12 years ago was the first time I heard that phrase, hollow bones. And they're asking me to get that particular deck. There's a deck here. Is it this one? If I pulled the exact deck look at that, and it's the fifth card down is the hollow bone card. And it's the 28. Okay. I'm so grateful for the guidance I receive. I know for some, I'm the too much girl, the too much woman. The reality is everything is spiritual. And in order for many of us to have navigated and gotten to this point in our life, it has been my connection with God and the angels and the unseen realms. They're totally responsible for the fact that I'm still standing here in human form today. And absolutely my support system and all the times, the behind the scenes stuff that the people don't see when you're crying your face out and you're doing the work and you're in so much pain and it's you on your own. This is when God, when source, when spirit comes in. And actually, it's not when spirit comes in, it's when we welcome the return of spirit within us. Teachability, absolutely. And the more density we can release in the 3D, the more easily we can rise and elevate. Like that little vulture I saw flapping at it was 4 threes across the screen there, which is 12. We are the channel of light. But the more that we settle into the energy of rest and ease and not pushing anything, releasing the density as, the reels come off okay, so Saturday we talked about the reel flying off the film, flying off the reel, right? Of the past. It's done. Gemini season is where we're threading the new film into the new reel and starting that forward movement again. Because up to this point, it's felt much like the push and pull. 2 steps forward, 5 steps back. 3 steps forward, 2 back. That kind of energy. And that has been our own energetic, our own unhealed aspects of self preventing the forward movement. Well, here we are now at this. Find this if you're not finding it around May 20th, 2025, you're finding it in 2030, you're at a similar transitory point. This is about you. This is always about us and our personal journey, our spiritual journey, our awakening to our connection to source. One more card, and we are going to. They're saying, take that card. Lisa, you're staring at it. Resourcefulness. The horned cactus, 29. Didn't the first card out? Wasn't it an 1138 or something? Yes. We are resourceful. We're most resourceful when we are connected to nature, when we're grounding and anchoring our unique energetic stream to the earth, our imprint, our soul print, that's unique to each of us, right? And this hive energy, this, group think, group speak, you can hear all the catchwords. It's like, it's not unique. It's not different. It's the same old regurgitation that, uh, yeah, it's not unique. You are special. You are master. You're medicine. You're powerful. And, you've released the prickly parts of yourself, right? You're not the cactus. What I'm seeing with these spikes on the cactus is like the protective energy around us from source. And so that with not good intentions, I gotta cover this finger. Do I have any Kleenex in here? Oh, I do. Okay. Anything at this point forward, any energy that comes toward us, not in integrity, with ill intent, we will know and feel it instantaneously. Because sometimes we don't, as empaths, as sensitives, as compassionate. And again, it feels like this comes from the unhealed aspect of self, is that we can, be drawn into this energy. No more. No more. We are solidified in our channel because we are the channel of light. We're grounding, we're connecting with Mother Earth, and we're resting so that we may take flight. Did you just see that? How many minutes are we at? 37. I'm going to check that out. So that we may take flight. And we are incredibly resourceful. And our resourcefulness comes through our connection to source, who guides us to this and that. No, it's not. It doesn't look like it looks for everyone else. It's not supposed to. This card, they're saying, gifted. It's not supposed to, because we're each uniquely gifted. So why would my gifts look like your gifts? Your gifts don't look like my gifts. And I feel like we spend a lot of time. I know personally, I've spent a lot of time in that comparison energy, like being really drawn to some incredibly powerful healers, teachers, artists, and guides. And, again, it's like, that's what they're meant to do. And yes, as gifted as you see and feel, that's a reflection of you. And yet you're not meant to do that. You have your own gifts you're here to unwrap and unravel and come to terms with, right? And your own past, to close the door, not slam the door on, to close the door, to gently close the door with compassion. The film has run off the reel. The film has snapped. It's done. And we're now at this new beginning. And as we continue to move through the back end of we're only really in the first part of 2025, because the new year is really, anyways, you all know what I mean, right? The Gregorian year of 2025, we're coming to the back half of it. And the ride is going to be much more at ease, highly creative, as we show up for ourselves. And showing up for ourselves, they want me to end with this, so I'm going to. This is what showing up for ourselves looks like. It's the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. What was that bear's name? Baloo? Yeah. I love that. I love that song. And this is it. This picture is heaven on earth, guided and directed by God, the angels, and, you know, your higher self, universal source of all. It's time to take the swords out of the heart, out of the back, get grounded, focus on yourself, focus on caring for yourself, and trust, having faith. That mustard seed, as mustard seeds, we're growing, and having faith that as long as we continue to sow and nurture the seeds of love and creation that have always lived within us, as long as we're willing to heal what keeps the human that is us feeling like, why are we even here? You're here for joy. You are here truly for a heavenly experience while on earth. The simple bare necessities, being healed by the food we eat, the company we keep, the songs we sing, the dancing feet. Thank you so much for showing up today, because you see that? You've really helped me as well to shift. And I trust that if you've been here from the beginning to now, you have witnessed the shift. You are also this. And so, with that being said, I feel like that's a wrap. Cut. And I'm going to go adjust my finger and, yeah, sit in the sun. Let the sun warm my skin for an hour or so before the job, which is a necessity at this time. And yet, as we stay open and teachable is opening our gifts, teachability. We are well on our way to the simplicity of bliss. We are this incredibly gifted. I see you. I feel you. I love you. If you've made it this far, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. It really supports the Thrive, and I'm so grateful, eternally so. If you've resonated with anything here, hit the thumbs up. And if you're interested in booking a personal reading or intuitive healing session or anything with me, you just want to talk, reach out. All the information is in the description box below. Stay tuned on Wednesday for your interactive messages. Oh, I love you, Kiva. I see your comments. I love you. We're on our way out. I'll be back with you live on Thursday morning. Tomorrow, there will be some whimsical Wednesday messages with you. And please, if you feel like any of your friends, family, anybody might resonate with this or be supported by this, please do feel free to share. I'm grateful for all the ways you show me that you care. Until next time, everyone, I see you. I feel you. I love you. Don't be upset, Kiva. It's all good, sister. We've got this. And now it's time that we go recharge in the sun or something like that. Follow the joy. Remember, this is the biggest message. And we do that via this pathway, frolicking in the forest, grounding the high vibe that we bring to this earthly tribe at this time. Until next time, everyone, take good care. Love ya.